On June 7, 1992, 47-year-old Cheryl Levitt, her daughter 19-year-old Suzanne Streeter and Streeter's friend, 18-year-old Stacy McCall, disappeared from Levitt and Streeter's Springfield home. They haven't been seen or heard from since. Nicknamed the Springfield Three, the women's disappearances have stumped investigators for more than 3 decades, but authorities are still asking the public for any information that would help solve the mystery that has shaken the Missouri town. Here's everything we know about the cold case. One day before they disappeared, friends Suzanne Streeter and Stacy McCall graduated from Kickapoo High School in Springfield and were celebrating their accomplishment by attending graduation parties that evening. According to the Charlie Project, an online database documenting missing persons cases, after the parties, the women both drove separately to Streeter's house with plans to stay the night there. They were last seen around 15 a.m. on June 7th. According to the Springfield Police Department, the Springfield News Leader previously reported that based on the women's items in the home, it was clear that Streeter and McCall had already gotten ready for bed at the time they were abducted. Their jewelry was left in the bathroom along with damp cloths believed to have been used to take off their makeup after a night of celebration. McCall's shorts were also folded and sitting on top of her shoes. The outlet reported. Streeter's mom, Cheryl Levitt, was last heard from by a friend around 11:15 p.m. on June 6th. According to the police department, when authorities arrived at the residence the following day, her bed looked like it had been slept in and all of her personal items were left behind. Authorities believe the women were abducted sometime between 2:15 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. on June 7th. The address of the home where the women disappeared from was 1717 E. Delmer St. in Springfield, Mo., and when authorities arrived on June 7th, the family dog was in the home along with keys, money, jewelry, personal items, and the women's 3 vehicles. According to police, there was also no sign of a struggle in the home. The only thing unusual about this house was that 3 women were missing from it. Retired Springfield Police Capt. Tony Glenn previously told the Springfield News Leader, "You had this feeling as you looked around that something was missing, that something had to be missing. But there wasn't. Just them." The only thing in the home that was amiss was a shattered porch light, according to the Charlie Project. In addition, the front door was unlocked. Before McCall, Streeter, and Levitt vanished, Robert Craig Cox was convicted of unaliving a woman in Florida. However, at the time of their disappearance, that conviction had been overturned and he was living in Springfield, Mo. Ozarks first reports. Cox quickly became a prime suspect in the missing persons case. According to Military Justice for All, Cox pleaded guilty to kidnapping and assault in California and served 9 years in prison before being convicted of the unaliving of Sharon Zellers in Orlando, FLA, and sentenced to death. That conviction was overturned due to lack of evidence, according to deathpenaltyinfo.org, and after that reversal, Cox moved to Springfield. He stirred up a lot of interest, former prosecuting attorney Daryl Moore said. According to the Ozarks First, in the weeks after their abduction, Cox's girlfriend provided him an alibi saying they were together when the women disappeared, but she eventually confessed to police that her statement was a lie. The outlet reports. In 1996, KY3 investigative reporter Dennis Graves went to a Texas prison to interview Cox about the missing women. "I know that they are dead," Cox told Graves. KY3 reports. "I'll say that, and I know that." When pressed by Graves, Cox refused to provide further details. Cox is currently serving a life sentence in Texas for robbery, according to the site, and will be eligible for parole in 2025. Despite heavy suspicion, he was never charged in connection with the disappearance of the Springfield Three. According to KY3, Bart Streeter, Streeter's brother and Levitt's son, was also suspected of being involved with the disappearances at one time, but was eventually cleared. While previously speaking to People, Janice McCall said she will never give up on searching for her daughter. "There's not a word called closure in the dictionary for families missing someone," said Janice. "My baby is gone. We want some justice." Stacy said she spoke with her daughter the night before she vanished. "We both said, 'I love you,'" Janice said. And then she never heard from her daughter again. The day after the graduation, friends and family couldn't reach McCall, Streeter, or Levitt, so Janice drove over to the home where her daughter was supposed to spend the night. When she arrived, the front door was unlocked, but the women were nowhere to be found. Janice contacted authorities immediately and began distributing missing persons photos and speaking with the media in hopes of locating the women's whereabouts. But the case grew cold. On the Surviving Parents Coalition, Janice wrote about her daughter and her dedication to finding her. "Although the families of Suzy and Cheryl have legally declared them dead, I cannot bear the thought of doing that," she wrote. "If there is one chance that she is still alive, I choose to call her missing and hope that someday she will be back." Janice is also the co-founder and executive director of One Missing Link, Inc., a nonprofit advocacy organization for families of missing persons. She is also a member of the Association of Missing and Exploited Children's Organization. According to the Springfield Police Department, $43.0 has been established for the location and prosecution of the persons responsible for the abduction of the 3 women at the time of their disappearance. Levitt is described by the police department as 5 feet tall and 110 pounds, with brown eyes and short, bleached blonde, curly hair. Streeter was 100 pounds with brown eyes, straight shoulder length, bleached blonde with a scar on top of her right forearm and a small tumor in the left corner of her mouth. McCall was 120 pounds with blue eyes, dark blonde, medium-length hair with freckles and a dimple in the middle of her chin. Anyone with information regarding the disappearances is urged to contact the Springfield Police Department at 417-86-41751 or the FBI VCAP at 806-344-097. Thank you for watching. For more true crime stories, follow my co-host Child Case Podcast with Sylvia Pradia, where she covers child abuse cases.